Welcome to a new episode of The Benchwarmers. It's your host, Jacob Mathern, and your co-host, Gabe Caraway. Obviously, we have a new name this time around. As you saw on Instagram or anywhere else on any of our socials, you will see us with our new rebrand. Beyond Ball was always just a filler name, filler anything that we just created on the spot throughout the summer. And we felt like over the break, we really needed a rebrand. So, since we're both two washed-up athletes, and we actually sat on the bench a good amount of times in our career, Gabe specifically, we have this all the time, actually. Especially on basketball. Dude, Benchwarmer GOAT right here, son.
That summer league, though, people remember that.
But yeah, we have decided to rebrand to the Benchwarmers. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. And to start off, me and Gabe are gonna head and crack open our drink of choice. Today, Gabe's got the terrific Monster Ultra Blue new drink, whatever. And I have Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, Strawberry Cream, an old classic.
That's a classic.
It is a classic. Gabe, go ahead and do our live reaction as we need it.
It's like the other one, the other blue one.
That's fair. That's what I figured it was going to be.
A little better.
But we all know the GOAT. I'm actually on a cut right now. Calorie deficit. I've ate like 1,500 calories today. So I really just want to eat food. And I have a bunch of hot sauce next to me, so it's really making me eat. But I'm just going to tell y'all a little story. We're going to tell a little story about our lives real quick. Just to fill y'all in, because we are college students, of course. And lives do get tough. And so, actually, my story over the break is I went to Chattanooga for the second time in my life. Dude, it was cold as a mug. It made my lips chapped, as always. I went for a campus outreach retreat, something called New Year's Conference. And my little full funny story is on day 2, we went to MLK Boulevard at 2 a.m. We were planning to go to some place called the Diner because we were hungry at 2 a.m. That's what you usually do on a trip. And we're like, you know what? Let's make a 20-minute pit stop to MLK Boulevard. We had a guy who's really autistic with us as well. So it was a great time. It was us, some LSU guys, some Memphis guys. All in all, it was a major joke. We got a picture in front of like the old theater that got torn down. It's on my Instagram. It's on there. And so, but it was a great time. Learn about Christ, learn how to be a Christian, of course, and all the great things like that. Oh, and ate a lot of chocolate chip pancakes.
Did you go to Waffle House?
We did not. There was not a Waffle House. There was Waffle House near us, but it was sketchy. We went to
that's all Waffle Houses.
That's true. We went to the Diner. It's like a 24/7 place owned by some granddad. Yeah, I don't know if you have any stories for a little over the break as well.
I mean, as you know at least, I always go to Tennessee around Christmas.
You do.
This time we did something new, and I will say this: I'm not super afraid of heights, but it depends. As when I was younger, I definitely was. If anyone's been to Gatlinburg, they know about the glass bridge up in the mountains. It's pretty high up.
I agree.
I was thinking of Temple of Doom in my head too, so that didn't help. Just the people that go up there, you should have seen them. It was like old ladies, way out of their element. They had a guy with I think it was a Chihuahua or something, carrying him over the bridge. It's like, dude, one move and that thing's gonna jump off the side. I forgot what movie that was, but that happened. And it's like you're just asking for it to jump off. No, but that was cool. Again, the glass part was kind of scary, but we survived at least.
But yeah, as you can tell, I'm actually in a new setup. I moved back to the Dell house. I got a roommate now, so we kind of moved the room around. I'm actually sitting on a couch. We have a special guest. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of right here. I'm going to move more on the screen for people. His name's Quando Dingle. It's the bear. It's Bear's running my fam for the fraternity. So shout out him. He's kind of been just chilling on the couch recently. And I actually have a 50-inch TV like behind the screen had the Thunder and Cavs game on, so shout out that. So I'll probably do some live commentary during that game. But yeah, we're just gonna go straight into this. As with the new rebrand, we're gonna come in with new things. Last year, last semester, you saw mostly just a small new roundup, and then mostly
It was run of the mill. It was very basic.
It was, like I said, we didn't know what we were doing, so we actually took the time to really, mainly at 11 o'clock at night when our brains were mostly working, to get the best lineup. And so this is around the time it's going to be. And so it should, we cut down the time from 2 hours and 50 minutes to about 50 minutes to an hour. Just, it depends how long Gabe takes with you. We'll see later.
We had to do a long introduction this time as well.
Yeah, that is true. We had to explain everything. So hopefully y'all enjoy, as we're going to go straight into this. So it's time for our news roundup. The first, obviously, big one we've seen is Tyreek's big video of him hinting at free agency. Actually, we'll have that on the screen right now.
This is my first time. I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here, or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. You know, so it was great playing here, but.
I mean, you thinking about leaving here?
If it is, hey, yeah.
And so, pretty much, you just saw the video. He's pretty much saying, is he going to be in Miami next season? Gabe, what's your thoughts about it?
I mean, it seemed sort of obvious. He said, I think he said, I think my time is up. I think it's time to go. I believe he probably made a tweet after his agent told him to make a tweet after. But I sort of believe what he's saying. He didn't really live up to his own expectations. Even when Tua was in, I would say, we know Tua missed a lot of the season. And, Tyler Huntley as your quarterback you're not going to put up numbers with that. But he just didn't live to the amazing year he had. So I think when you look at that video, it kind of seems obvious that he does want out. And there's a lot of teams out there that would, I think, need to make a move for him. And then also we have on here as well as Jalen Ramsey. Also, I believe he also had a video or maybe a quote, and it kind of seemed like he was ready to be out. So Miami, they're kind of falling apart after a really bad year, and we'll just see what happens over these next few months.
I think definitely the big question that comes out of this is this a result of Mike McCarthy? Not Mike McCarthy. Sorry, whatever the head coach is called. Name is. Who's the head coach of Dolphins? As I'm blanking. Whatever the head coach of the Dolphins' name is, I can't even think of his name. Is it a result of him? Is it a result of the front office? As their GM as the Dolphins had really bad numbers metric wise of how they treat their players over the past few years. Of course, by the NFLPA poll that gets sent out every single year. So could that be a result of it? We don't know. Hopefully everything gets figured out. I can see Tyreek going to different teams that need a true wide receiver 1/wide receiver 2 hybrid type deal. And I think that's where the stage of Tyreek is going to his career, getting later in age. And then expect next year you can probably see Jalen Waddle take a very massive step, as if he stays healthy, of course. But it just takes a lot of questions for the Dolphins. Are they going to retool or are they going to rebuild? I mean, two major things that come from that. And then we have kind of a small thing here. It's definitely something with Kirk Cousins, as we've been seeing him in the trade recently. Some trade talks recently. And I have 3 trades here, but don't mind my trades. I am still not the best with it. I have one for the Raiders, one for the Browns, and one for the Giants. The 3 teams that really need a quarterback, I kind of put it together.
I also have those first 2, so
okay.
I don't have a third team though.
That's fair. I just took the 3 teams that I could see something happening to. And so here, this is my Raiders one. I have Kirk Cousins, for the 4th round 106 overall pick. and Tyree Wilson. That's my Raider to throw around, just because Tyree Wilson is a young player. He's 22 now, I believe. As and then the fourth round pick can provide something, but not a lot of times you're gonna get a big hit. And so, and the big thing with the Falcons you're gonna see in my trades is they need an edge. They need an edge player, as their defensive line their pass rush was ranked the worst in the league last year, and that's saying a lot because the Saints also are in this league.
Titans as well.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, run for the Raiders as well.
I didn't even attempt to throw together a trade offer because I have no idea what I am doing. I think your offer, you're getting a bust with Tyree Wilson. I mean, at this point, I think we can kind of say that. Not to say he can't get it done with some other team. We've seen that happen before, but he's been a bust so far. But still, for Atlanta, you're like, okay, maybe we can develop this guy. We just need anybody that can rush the passer, and he plays that position. So, I mean, if you keep a guy like Judon around, I think that's a good mentor for him, honestly. With I don't know how much Judon has left in his tank. He wasn't amazing this year when they tried to bring him in to help. And also, I don't think they're going to get anything better than they may get a third round pick. I think a fourth round pick is reasonable. It's just the price tag. I don't know if anyone's going to give up, and especially with how he played this year, it's not necessarily high draft capital material. And then also you're looking at, for the Raiders, not necessarily the Browns or the Giants, but you're looking at who they bring in at head coach and also as their GM. We'll get into head coach predictions in a little while. But that's going to play a big piece. And did the Raiders even want a bridge QB? Because that's who Kirk Cousins is. The QBs in this draft, we'll kind of talk about it, aren't really that great. I wouldn't build my franchise around them. But it all depends on who they bring in as a head coach. So I think Raiders is reasonable, but it depends.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, going from it, Kirk Cousins is making $45 million per year. Like, that's the average per year mark. If you know anything about anything about the thing, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And it's a lot of money that teams do not want to take on. But sometimes it's necessary when you're just trying to find a bridge quarterback. Like, someone's going to overpay for Justin Fields this year. It's bound to happen. Someone's going to overpay for Russell Wilson. Someone's going to overpay for those two big quarterbacks, because especially Justin Fields as a younger bridge quarterback, you could turn him into something for the future, like someone like Sam Darnold, how it was this year, as I will talk about him in a few minutes. But yeah, this is my Browns trade. Of course, Kirk Cousins goes to Brown. Actually, I'm giving the Falcons a 4th round pick and Isaiah McGuire. Isaiah McGuire was an old 4th round pick in the 2023 draft. He didn't play that out of Missouri. He was per PFF grade, which I don't really take much into consideration because I don't like him. But he was the most improved player on the Browns defense. So it's definitely something to take into account. He's only making $1 million per year, 1.1 million average per year. So it's something to really take in as another young edge player that you can just develop. And the 4th round pick is the 102 overall. Like I said, it's a 4th round pick. Little hits you're going to get, but ultimately it's something that it can be looked at.
Yeah. I think the Browns, that was obviously the second team that I had. That's very reasonable too. I think you're looking at Deshaun Watson, who's probably going to be out. I don't see him coming back next year after tearing his ACL again. Achilles again. What route do they go? It's tough because they have a top 3 pick. It's not like they're not in range to take. I mean, it's Shador or Ward. That's pretty much the two guys. I don't see another quarterback going in the first round. I don't think either of these guys will go in the first round if it was a good year for QBs, but that's just me. Sorry. The Browns are in position to take one of those guys, and it all depends on what us or the Giants do, obviously. But I don't know if they're going to want to hang their hat on any of them. I think a bridge QB is a good option. Not that Kirk Cousins is a good option if you're looking for a bridge quarterback. I think the money's the issue and getting him is the issue. Also, someone like Sam Darnold. I think those are two decent bridge QB options. If you can get something out of them, if you can get what we saw out of Sam Darnold this year for the most part, and also Kirk Cousins earlier in the year wasn't horrific like he was when he was benched. I think the Browns, that's very reasonable for them to do that. As far as your trade, I didn't know a lot about what you put pick 102. So I think in the fourth round, for this draft, I would say there's positions that are pretty deep. Even in the fourth round, you're going to be able to find a guy that can probably come in and contribute, especially positions. I think the receivers are pretty good this year. Look, hey, Browns might be looking to drafting a young running back. I'm not going to lie. And this is the year to do it. This is an amazing list of running backs. We went over it before. There's probably, 10 to 15 running backs that I really like out of this draft class.
I'm going to have a full list next week about draft.
Yeah, we need to do that, yeah. And I'll just, since you have a third team, I'm going to go ahead. My last option is just that he stays in Atlanta. There's reports coming out that they're okay keeping him as QB2 next year, and he's okay staying there. How much that's true, we won't really know till the new year starts in March, but yeah, that's my last option, really.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening, but honestly, I don't know. It's
because of the dead money.
Very expensive contract in
but
general.
If they cut him, which I think is also something, it's $65 million in dead money, unless they do $40 million and he's a post June 1st release. Neither of those are good numbers.
And so for my last third trade, not really third option, but like third trade that I kind of threw out. This is what I could see the Giants doing as a front office of past experiences. It's not something I can see them actually doing, just because the Giants have just a terrible front office. I could just see it. I should not advise them, but might as well. Obviously, Kirk Cousins and a 7th round pick for the Giants' 3rd round pick, 5th round pick, and Elijah Chapman. Elijah Chapman is like 24 years old. He's making less than $1 million per year. Nothing to write home about, really. It's just another edge piece, as I can see it. But the big thing here is your 3rd and your 5th round pick, as the Falcons currently do not have a 3rd nor a 5th round pick in this upcoming draft. They only have really 5 picks overall. So,
the Burns trade?
Yeah. For some of it, yeah.
He was mid.
He was, unfortunately. I did throw a 7th round pick in there, so technically it would be 4 in this case. And so they're adding two other ones, the 3rd and 5th, so it'll be up to 6. And you're gonna get about $10 million of average per year back, which is good. But at the same time, you're just kind of looking off of that contract. And the Giants do have a good amount of cap space to take that in. And to give neighbors a quarterback is something the Giants front office should be their number one need. And so now in this case, you don't have to spend a 1st round pick on Shedeur. Who wants to do that? No scout.
Ward. I don't think either of them are, but
yeah, I think Ward is more of a first round pick than Shedeur is by 200%. No doubt in my mind. But Shedeur is not a 1st round pick. The only reason he's taking first in the 1st round is because teams need a quarterback. And you can kind of eliminate this possibility for the Giants. You take a bridge quarterback, you take in that contract, you can have him for a year or two, and then you dump him. You say goodbye. If you suck next year, well, look who's probably the first overall pick. Arch Manning. And guess who's also going to be in there? Garrett Nussmeier. Nico. And there's so many quarterbacks for next year's draft. And it's even in 2 years, there's Jackson Arnold that will be in that next draft, who I think can turn into a really good quarterback at Auburn.
Mateer?
Mateer's coming this coming year. He's such a dog.
He's so good.
I can't wait to watch the SEC.
Vanilla Vic.
Shedeur lovers over here. I'm sorry, not Shedeur. Mateer lovers over here. But for the most part, I mean, if you are a Vikings, you're trying to get rid of that contract. If you're the Giants, you really are trying to take in that contract to give Neighbors a quarterback, and you could possibly draft Terrell McMillan with that first-round pick, and you got a good wide receiver too. Plain and simple. And McMillan is a dog. We all saw that this past year, even though with how bad the quarterback play was from Noah Fafita.
I'm not as high on him anymore, McMillan. I think his parts of his game worry me a little bit. But for the Giants, I mean, you just need help. I would say though, if you're at 2 and you're not taking a quarterback, I would trade back. That's what I would do. Somebody else is going to trade up, not necessarily for a quarterback, but they could trade up. And I don't know what we're going to do with the first pick, but someone could be really there's someone that could be pretty good at number 2 if we mess up our first pick.
Depending what happens.
Yeah. Depending on what happens.
We're not going to speak on it right now because that's next week's topic. We're going to get about to then. And just more down the line as things go on. But we're going to keep on going here as we are running a little short on time. My bad. The big thing here is Sam Darnold. Sam Fraudnold. My little thing here, I said, does he deserve money? Like the money that he could bring in. So I did a little research on this topic, and I really dove deep into it. And so per NFL rankings, The Ringer, they're more well known, and I really respect them because they know what they're doing. I listen to their podcast sometimes, and so they have a list of quarterbacks per their quarterback grade of how they did throughout the season. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Sam Darnold had a good season by stats, by metrics. It wasn't that great of a season. Theoretically, if Dak Prescott never got hurt, he was going to be projected the 8th quarterback in this thing, and he did. And we all saw how he did, but he also had a doofus as a head coach. But as you can see here, we have like Jalen Hurts 15, Lamar 1, Josh Allen 2, Patrick 3. Just because Derek Carr 18, so he didn't do as bad as we thought. Just I think mostly off those first 2 weeks. Drake May was 19 with a grade of 83.5. Jay Daniels with a grade of 83.3. Which it's kind of just how the game is. I mean, it's not definite. Brock Purdy ranked 21. And then number 22 with a grade of 82.8, we have Sam Darnold. His talent has never been in question. The big thing is this one. He was ranked 65th in turnover-worthy plays. And starting quarterback, I think that's like the 10th most or something like that. I mean, if you have obviously the best wide receiver, or one of the best wide receivers, the best wide receiver in all of football, I would throw so many 50-50 balls to him that Justin Jefferson is down there somewhere. I mean,
I think Chase is the best now, but just after the year he had.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Interchangeable.
I mean, LSU rules, so LSU runs his place.
It's interchangeable.
So I have here, when he's not seeing ghosts was actually an issue sometimes. Darnold moves well in the pocket and cannot get off some impressive downfield throws with pass rushers in his lap. That's kind of been his thing ever since he got, even at USC, it's been a big, big deal. Darnold's issue, though, which prevented him from holding on to the starting job in the past, is making smart and timely decisions. I mean, you can take the gunslinger mentality with a quarterback, but if he makes more decisions like this and it gets cost him, it's done for. So as a team, you're kind of thinking about it. How can I go out with him? I personally think he should bring in at least $20 million a year. As I know, I just realized what I said. I think $20 million average per year is a great offer for him. Not Minnesota. I think Minnesota moves on.
Let's be honest. He played himself down money-wise these past 2 weeks.
I agree.
Specifically the Rams game and the Lions, yeah.
I do also want to throw out the Jets game as well. He had a pass rating of 49.7 in that win. And Jermaine Johnson was Oh my gosh, Jermaine Johnson was killing that man. But
that's one of my options I have for him. I think the Jets. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
Depending on what they do, they're not in a position to really take a top QB in this class. Rodgers isn't going to be there next year. Let's be honest. I don't know if he's going to retire or go somewhere else, but he ain't going to be there next year. I think he'll play. He'll try and hit the market at least, but he's not going to be in New York. So I think the Jets could definitely go the bridge route. I also have the Giants and the Raiders here as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really think the Vikings believe in J.J. McCarthy. I believe in J.J. McCarthy. I don't think Gabe believes in J.J. McCarthy. I do. I've always higher than most, and I really did like the pick. I watched a lot of his film, and he really impressed me this preseason, of course. So, but I mean, 2 knee injuries in 1 year isn't ideal as a franchise quarterback, especially to start off your career. I mean, it'd be a lot to look for.
He didn't have the best tape either.
Really. I mean, so maybe Vikings give Darnold like a 1 year deal to see something happen, and then they go from there.
I'm doubting it.
Yeah, we're gonna go from there. We're gonna keep updating y'all. But I'm gonna let Gabe have his fun, of course. I'll have it timed down for 10 minutes because
I should make that.
Because we are going to keep this as time. So time right here. I'm gonna have a little timer set somewhere. I don't know if I can do that, but we're gonna figure it out. So Gabe, I'll let you have your fun.
All right. So I'm gonna skip down here actually a little bit. We missed the last few weeks of the year. I didn't get to talk about them. Now, y'all didn't miss much because I know none of y'all are watching no damn Titans games. All right. Nobody should have been watching any games. Yeah, I can't think of one that would have made any sense to watch. If I'm just a fan of the sport. Worst team in the league. We have the first pick, right? This is the worst team I've watched since I've been into sports. And that's across all my leagues, I would say. Like, this is the worst. Like, there is nothing.
Even, what was it, the 2015 Bucks?
Gabe did not watch the 2015.
Gabe did not. Okay, never mind. Okay,
Gabe got into sports really in, well, I started watching the Titans in 2015, but the Bucks was 2016. Yeah, since I think this is the worst team the Titans have had since they became a franchise. The only year that would be, I think, close would be 2014 when they won 2 games. Now, we lost the same amount of games. We both lost 14 because we have an extra game now. So we went 3-14, three wins. Who cares? The teams we beat weren't good. I don't know how we beat the Texans still. That one still lives in my mind. I'm not sure how that happened. This is the first time we could actually use the first pick as a franchise. We had it in 2016, and we traded it to the Rams, who got Jared Goff. With our picks, out of that, we got Derek Henry. He's pretty good. We also got Corey Davis using one of those picks. He's not good. He's bad. No, he's actually not good at this sport. And then the last guy, well, we have 2 more guys here. Technically, the pick we got from the Rams, we traded back up in that draft, and we got Jack Conklin. He was good. Then we let him go for no reason. Thanks, John Robinson. Still trying to find his home address so I can go say hi, but we'll figure it out one day. So it's exciting because, the first time we can actually use the pick as a franchise. Now, will we trade down? I hope we do. That's what I want to do. I definitely, if we take Shador at 1, I'm going to die. I'm going to bang my head into my table till I can't see anymore. It's just not going to be a good move. Even though the year was a disaster, this is kind of the reward, You get the first pick. It's exciting. You don't know what you're going to do. So many needs at almost every position. Almost anything's on the table. There was pretty much no fun moments from this year. Just to do like an overwide recap. Pretty much nothing that was like enjoyable. I was like, dang, I'm sure glad I turned on this game. I didn't have any of those moments.
I mean, I enjoyed the first 4 weeks of the NFL season with Levis. That was fun.
That was good. One moment. We can talk about that game because we weren't doing episodes. The Bengals game with Tavondre Sweat got the fumble return and stiff-armed somebody. That was fun. That was the only time I smiled, unironically, during a game this year. And also, every Nick Westbrook-Ikine catch always puts a smile on my face. I think he had a touchdown on, I don't know, half of his catches or something this year. It was crazy. He was like top 5 in touchdowns. Wow. What a man. Many people know our owner did something in the past week. She's senile. She's senile. And I was a guy who didn't like the Vrabel move last offseason. I was a guy. I was like, the team was bad. One more year. That's what I would have done. He was not as good of a coach as everybody thinks he was. I don't know why people think that. I mean, look at his record before he left. Not good. But I was in it for one more offseason. Him and Rand going to cook. And, she does that. And then now she fires Rand after 2 years. But she keeps the worst thing he did for this team was hire Brian Callahan. But she keeps him, but fires Rand. I don't understand. And, I mean, that's the thing you want to do, I think. When you bring in a head coach, you want to bring in, if you have openings, right, you want to bring in a head coach and a GM in the same offseason. We have yet to do that. It's going to happen again. They said we're keeping Brian Callahan. Frustrating, to say the least. Amy she really needs to sell the team. It's time. The team has almost no depth anywhere after this year. Almost everybody was disappointing. Our young picks, and that's the thing, Rand had a pretty good draft, if we're being honest. We go look back at some of the picks. Jarvis Brownlee, you got Taraji Sweat in the second round. People didn't like that move. Turns out he was the best interior lineman in this rookie class. And also J.C. Latham in the first round. He wasn't Andre Dillard. So, I mean, that's all we were looking for when we drafted a left tackle, because you cannot be worse than him. I don't even want to read the stats because they're depressing, just as a team. Just get on to the big story about us, which is we have the first pick, right? Are we going to take a quarterback, or are we going to trade down? Are we going to go the bridge quarterback route? That's kind of what was really on the option for us. I said that. I don't want to take Ward. I don't want to take Shador. I do not. I just don't want to do that. What I want to do, and I wouldn't mind taking him at number 1, is take Abdul Carter, because our pass rush is really bad. And Abdul Carter is really good. He could be, I think, a top 15 to 20 edge rusher in his rookie season. I think he's that good. I think if he stays, healthy and everything. And I will entertain this for the sake of this podcast. If we take a quarterback, I would do Cam Ward. That would be the only. I would not take Shador. Cam Ward, he has aspects I like. I just think overall he's not worth it. I think his decision making sometimes, I think he tries to make a play, and it's like he's got something. Like I've watched some of the film. It's like he has something underneath, but he tries to do too much, throwing in the coverage downfield. And we saw that in some of the close games Miami was in this year. I think at times his decision making wasn't great. Shador is he played in a situation that's going to be pretty similar to ours. Our situation is going to be really bad. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it doesn't matter if we draft a quarterback. Our situation is going to be really bad. And Shador, he dealt with a bad offensive line in college. But part of that is he's kind of like Levis in the fact that he drifts into pressure sometimes. That's one of my concerns with him. He has average arm talent, if we're being honest. I like Cam Ward's arm more than Shador. I think neither of them are really worth the first overall pick. I want to trade down. That's the bottom line for the draft, really. I'm so scared of what we're going to do. It's so scary. I just want some excitement for next year, man. That's all I want. I just want to have a decent team, And we're going to have free agency money. Haven't looked at the free agency group. I don't know how good it is at the positions we need, because it's almost all of them that we need still. We need a right tackle. Like, we might, you might have to step in next year. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what the right tackle class looks like. I want to draft one. Josh Connerly in the second round. That's my hope. But we'll see what happens.
I think this is the shortest Titans talk you've done. 8 minutes. Shout out Gabe. And of course, I'm going to set the same thing for myself. I have it right here. Of course, Saints, I might be 5 minutes top. So Saints. So I'm not going to get too mad, as a lot of my anger I've already taken out with the Saints been long done. First, I've actually won, the first major top here is cut Derek Carr. We all saw what he said in his interview with taking a pay cut. I don't want to take a pay cut. Watch the film. The best quarterback in the league. Immediately that film is him immediately getting spun around like a helicopter versus the Giants. Or throwing an awful pick in any game he played in. The first 2 weeks of the Saints season was the best 2 weeks of my life. I think I remember Gabe. I think I remember like having a conversation with you, and I'm like, this may be the best team I've ever watched in my life. We're going to the Super Bowl, 16-0.
It was the Panthers and Cowboys.
And then we play the Panthers, Cowboys, and then we play the Eagles, and go on. But yeah, one of my points here has Spencer Rattler has major upside with some major downside. Read off his stats for the year: 1,317 yards, about 5.8 yards per average, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 70.4 rating. So there's a metric called EPA in football. It is pretty much extra points added. Is that what it means? So I pulled some advanced metrics up in here. And so in all of football with starting quarterbacks, he ranks 32nd EPA per dropback.
Below Levis?
Technically, the success rate is also in EQ2. He's ranked 3rd. Okay, isn't it bad? And then we have something called the CPO. It means the completion percentage over expected. Is a metric to evaluate quarterbacks and receivers' performance in football. It adjusts completion percentage to difficulty of a throw. Now, we've seen the tape versus the Packers where he made some of the most insane throws. He made the best throw of his career and immediately threw an interception right after. I mean, we all saw it. Here, it's actually ranked 31st in quarterbacks. He has a -9 percentage points when it comes to the CPO. But, hear me out. I will entertain the idea of him being the starting quarterback next year. I will entertain it. It says let me find out he doesn't need much time or space to get off a throw. He has a really fast throwing motion, and he doesn't lose velocity or accuracy when passing on the move. Rattler doesn't have the prototypical size of a top quarterback, and it doesn't take much of him to lose downfield vision. But he can wriggle his way out of tight spots and clear view outside the pocket and make a daring playmaker. But it's his decision-making and willingness to adhere to the team's offensive scheme that will ultimately determine how far he makes at the level. He's a very talented quarterback. We all knew he was outside the first rounds of quarterbacks were taken. He was the next one taken in the fourth round. Fifth round. Yeah, sorry. As I see it, the major upside is a 5th round talent. He's a 5th round pick with a 1st round talent. Major downside, he is still a 5th round pick, and he was a 5th round pick for a reason. He is 24 years old. He's not going to get much better unless something happens. Olave is, you can now officially say he's injury prone. I blame Derek Carr 100% for half the injuries.
That's fair.
Do not hire Aaron Glenn. Please don't hire Aaron Glenn. Mickey Loomis is holding on to one thing in life right now. It's his drafting. And barely even that past few years has been good. He's holding on to that 2017 draft like a small little thread is holding on to the backpack. I mean, you gotta let it go at some point. You gotta let it go. Aaron Glenn will add to the Sean Payton mentality that we've been trying to get rid of. Dennis Allen brought it over. We all saw how that happened. I should never cry during a Saints game. I cried during one of those Dennis Allen watchable games. I mean, please don't. I don't mind Aaron Glenn at all. He's a great defensive coordinator. But I will say, I'm going to say it later of who I really want when it comes to coach predictions. Please draft a physical receiver. Please. We have Rashid Shaheed. We have Chris Olave. I get it. But there's some receivers in here that would fit in mold.
Should have been A.T. Perry.
I'm not even going to say anything about that. Draft physical receiver like Terrell McMillan. Trade up. Higgins out of Iowa State. Please. He's 6'3", 225 with route running.
Sign T. Higgins.
Sign somebody. I doubt we will, but I mean,
No.
And then for my last point here, get younger. I love the old guys just as much as the next person. It's time to move on. Get them out of here. Get younger. Get younger people. Like if we didn't get like a sex offender on our team or something, like that would be good. I mean, in the front office that will sign the younger people, I don't care. Go for it. Just get something, please.
Ryan Ramczyk. Can we get a Ryan Ramczyk feelings update?
Okay, so that actually hurts a lot.
Is it time?
Yeah,
it's time to cut.
Yeah, this actually hurts still. I'll talk about it more, but I mean, he's definitely one of my favorite tackles that we've had the past few years. He's been I actually molded my game into as a offensive tackle when I played for football. So it definitely hurts to see, but this dude is also like chronically almost like dead. So I think it's time to move on. I understand. But I hope him the best. Yeah. So we're gonna move on here to these the coach predictions. We're gonna go by team. We have 6 teams here that have a head coach vacancy of that we know right now. Of course, you have Jags firing Peterson, Bears firing Eberflus, Vegas firing Perry, Vrabel. New Orleans not on here because they've been signed. McCarthy got fired. What else am I looking at here? Of course, we have Saints had an intern head coach, and then Jets had an intern head coach. So we're gonna give some like 1 or 2. That's all I have, and we're just gonna move on as we go. First, we have the Bears. I have the Bears here first, Gabe. With here, I have 2. They're really actually the favorites for them. As I was thinking about it, I have Ben Johnson, of course, Lions offensive coordinator, and Mike McCarthy, former Dallas head coach. What do you have for Bears as well?
The Bears, I also have Mike McCarthy here.
Yeah.
I think they asked about him before he was even let go. So I think that shows that they're interested. And I think they like his history with quarterbacks for Caleb to help develop him. What was the other team?
We had the Bears, Raiders, Jets, Saints, Jacksonville, Dallas. I start with Bears.
Okay, yep.
I agree. I actually was watching First Take this morning, drinking some coffee and with one of my buddies on the couch. And First Take was actually talking about Mike McCarthy, and Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky was going at it. It was cinema. Dan Orlovsky got railed in the argument. I actually been biased towards Dan Orlovsky because I do hate him as analyst, but that's besides the point. But yeah, next one we have the Raiders. So this one's actually kind of funny. I saw a report on this. I have Bill Belichick. This is a depending. He has not signed his contract yet for UNC, and
He's already recruiting.
Tom Brady is the one of the owners for the Raiders. So something could happen here. That's a long shot. And then I think what's really going to happen is Pete Carroll, Seahawks former head coach, and then also Mike Vrabel. I can see that one as well. It's kind of weird, but I like him in the Raiders culture. Not gonna lie. That's just me. He's
He's already the Patriots head coach, so that would be interesting.
Oh shoot, I'm stupid. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that. My fault, guys.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Little dumb by me.
I have Ben Johnson for the Raiders.
That's fair.
Now, there's not a lot to love if you're talking about an offensive guy. You have Brock Bowers, but I think the idea of like a blank canvas, which is the Raiders as a team overall, I think that's going to be interesting to him. It can also help with the GM search that they're still doing. So I think it'll depend. I don't know if they're going to hire a head coach first or a GM first, but he could help with the GM search if he's hired first. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And then for the next one, we have the Jets, or at least not the Jets. I know. You can go to it. I actually have Vance Johnson, Broncos defensive coordinator, or Ben Johnson, of course. You can really say Ben Johnson for all of these, and it's not a bad fit.
Yeah.
But I have Vance Johnson or Ben Johnson.
I have Brian Flores.
Yeah.
I think
I like
the
that
Jets are going to probably want to remain a defensive-minded kind of team. It wasn't great in his last head coaching stint, but I think after what we saw this year, I think that's going to get a lot of teams interested. They're going to want him to bring success that he's had this year over there because their defense was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I said Vance Johnson as the Broncos have the top 10 defense. I mean, might as well just hire one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, honestly. And Saints, this one kind of sucks for the prediction just because it's what's probably going to happen. It's Aaron Glenn. But for what I really want Joe Brady. Obviously, he coached at LSU. He done all these things. He was interim head coach as for the Panthers for a little bit. Went, I want to say 2-2 at the time. I mean, I want that one the most because obviously it's Joe Brady. He made my heart very happy with that 2019 season. So it's something to look at.
And he was there before. He went to LSU as well.
Exactly.
I think I have Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he has a lot of experience at different positions throughout the league. He's been in a lot of places. I think that's some stability they're going to get. It's just you're going to be a defensive team if you hire him. And I still know do they want to remain that because we had the last guy who was the defensive guy. I think they should go in a new direction. I just think this is what's most likely to happen.
I would not mind if we came Dan Rizzi just for the culture aspect, just to have a little bit of fun. But next year I have Jacksonville. I have 3 for this one because I really couldn't decide. First one I have Robert Saleh. Next one I have Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator. And then what I've been seeing a lot is Dan Rizzi. I've been seeing some reports on Dan Rizzi for Jacksonville. And I don't think it's going to come true, but I mean, he gets the team fired up. I'll tell you that much. And your special team is going to be dominant, so.
Actually, I have Saleh. That's my second option. I think what is going to happen is probably Liam Cohen, the Buccaneers offensive coordinator.
Good. That's good. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that.
I think they've interviewed him a couple times now.
Yeah.
I heard Saleh's interview went really well as well, so that's why he's my second option. But I think Liam Cohen. I think they're going to want to go offensive there. Yeah, I guess you had Doug Peterson was supposed to come in and help with Trevor Lawrence. That didn't work out. But Liam Cohen really stepping in for Dave Canales in Tampa Bay this year. He's kind of kept the offense. I mean, hasn't really dropped off much from last year with Canales. He's worked with Baker pretty well. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think about that. This is pretty good. So Dallas here. Dallas, I have Kellen Moore as my first option, Eagles offense coordinator. And just for the podcast.
Yeah, we had the same, yeah.
The fake second one is, of course, Dion. We saw the reports of it. Dion could either go to Dallas or Raiders is his best fit options, I guess. That's just that little fun moment. I kind of wanted to wait for it. But it should be Kellen Moore. I think he really deserves a head coach spot, as he had coached for the Dallas before, if I'm not mistaken, at offense coordinator.
He was OC.
Yeah. And the offense was really good during his time. So bring it. I mean, he knows what Jerry Jones wants, and with the culture he can bring, I really think he can have this one.
That's the same. I have the same too. I think for all the same reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, just for the entertainment, of course we have to put Dion in there. We're going a little over time, but honestly, I don't care. So next, just for the main, now we're going to the main aspect of what we really do, what we really love to do, is we're going to go a little bit of a recap, and of course we're going to do our pick'ems. This podcast is mainly going to be about the NFL, just because on sometime next episode, Saturday
or Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, one of those days.
We are doing another episode of college football and NBA. We're going to start splitting things up just so it's not one long episode just for y'all. So do a little recap. There's not a lot to say about the games because a lot of them was BTA belt ass. We're gonna start with the first game on the weekend was Chargers versus Texans. I have here Texans put BTA on Chargers. Chargers still in the rebuild. Justin Herbert. I'm not even gonna read his stats because how horrendous it was. And then Lyle McConkey's him.
That's all you have?
Then the Texans defense. I'm not trying to go too much into it, but for the most part, the Texans defensive line was killing that Chargers offensive line. Joe Alt was get put in a blender by Will Anderson multiple times in that game. But I mean, Texans really are not that good of a team. I will throw that one out. Chargers isn't that good of a team either, but just it's really, that's all I can really say on it. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, and I think this seems like an off-season kind of topic. We need to have some conversations about Justin Herbert. It's particularly, I think as a playoff performer. It's only been 2 games, but 51% completion percentage. He has 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, all in this game, and he has a 62 QB rating. 0-2 in his playoff games.
We also have it with that Chargers and Jacksonville game.
That was rough. Yeah. I watched the whole game. Yeah, that was rough.
That was bad.
This was an ass off early on, if we're being honest. Like, both teams were bad. Stroud was bad, but he actually put it together. Chargers were just making mistakes, really. The Texans defense played a hell of a game. That kind of goes without saying. Secondary was very impressive because kind of throughout the year they weren't consistent, I would say. You look at like the Ravens game was pretty bad. I mean, They got destroyed 2 points on Christmas. That's not showing out for your family if I'm a family member of one of those players. Last thing, not even about the game really. Well, I guess so, because Stingley had 2 picks in this game. I have a list. There's a list that I have.
I know he was.
How many corners are we actually taking over Derek Stingley at this point? Where does he rank?
Wait, can we keep that for later? Well,
we're talking about the Texans.
That's true.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'll move it down to later after we're done.
Yeah, just so we can keep it going here.
That's the Instagram reel waiting to happen.
That is Instagram reel waiting to happen. I'll make sure to put that in. So Steelers versus Ravens. Guys, I have 3 notes for this. Plain and simple. Ravens put BTA on Steelers. King Henry and Lamar is unfair. And of course, what is the future of the Steelers quarterback room? I don't know myself. That's something that can only be put in time because Jalen Milroe is favored to go to the Steelers just because that's a developmental quarterback. But you also have a Jalen Milroe on your team in Justin Fields. Russell Wilson wasn't that good in the year. Mike Tomlin is... There's just so many questions about the Steelers that it's an off-season topic that we can go into that could probably take a good 5 to 8 minutes to talk about. I don't know if we have on the game as well. I mean, King Henry Lamar was unfair. That's what I tell you that.
Yeah. 464 total yards the Ravens had. The Steelers had 280. The Ravens had 299 just rushing in this game. So kind of insane if you think about being a defensive team for the Steelers. And not really, they didn't get played like this in the regular season against the Ravens. This was a whole different kind of just domination, really. But I want to bring up the discussion. Do the Steelers need to move on from Mike Tomlin? Like, is this time? And I'm just going to give you some idea of this, really. He's gone 8 seasons without a playoff win. And I know he has, who the heck knows how long that no losing season streak is going on for. I don't really care about that. If you have 8 seasons without a playoff win, they're 0-6 in their last playoff games. In their last 5, they're giving up 40 points a game, almost. And then you saw it in this game, and it's been the last 5, their playoff games. They fall behind quick, and they don't come back from those deficits, really. This is going back a big time, but I'm just going to run through these in order. 21-0 to the Jags. I believe that would have been 2017. 28-0 to the Browns. We all remember that one. That was Ben's last game. 35-7 against the Chiefs. You have 21-0 to the Bills, and they have this game 21-0 to the Ravens. So they're not exactly competitive in their last playoff games. I think it's time.
Dude, I was 11 years old last time Mike Tomlin won a playoff game. I wasn't even watching football at that time. I was watching baseball. I watched baseball all my... Dude, I can't wait for baseball season. That's a different topic. Next game. I actually have 1 point for this game only. Broncos at Bills. There's not much to talk about. Bills, BTA on Broncos. Josh Allen, not MVP, but Josh Allen, he's a pretty darn good quarterback, if I say so myself. Pretty good at the sport, pretty good at what he does. I was completely wrong. I thought Broncos were actually going to have a chance in this game. They did. They scored.
For the first quarter,
7-0, but then the Bills scored pretty much, 31 unanswered at whatever the final score of the game was.
I fell asleep.
That was bad. I did take a nap during this game. That's what I actually have a second point now. Took a nap. I was EP.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not much to say.
Yeah, they had a Mickey Mouse start for the Broncos, and we kind of mentioned that right there. Their defense, hey, held the Bills to 1-5 in the red zone. Hey, it's pretty good. Problem, they gave up points that they gave up plays that were outside of their red zone. Josh Allen made some great plays. Obviously, the Ty Johnson throw in the back of the end zone was great.
I do not think that was a catch.
Right there.
I do not think that was a catch. I will put that.
It was
on my
close.
life. I do not think that was a catch.
But it was a great throw.
It was
still a great throw.
It was, but that was not a catch. It was a fantastic.
41-18 in time of possession. Wow. And the Broncos offense wasn't elite by absolutely any means, as much as Bo Nix people are gassing him up for being this great player.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot to mention that part.
It didn't exactly lead a great offense. They really struggled to do anything outside of the first quarter. They had one. I was in the third quarter, I think I saw they had one first down at one point, or maybe two. I don't remember. It was really rough in the third quarter. The run defense got dominated, and they were a top 3 rush defense. But yeah, James Cook, he's kind of putting on a heater right now. We'll see how it goes this week too. I'm really excited to watch that one, especially in snow.
Yeah, I do want to say something about Bo Nix real quick on his season. So going back to that little ranking I have, he was 29th in QB grade, somehow behind Anthony Richardson, Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, Caleb Williams, Kirk Cousins, of course, Sam Darnold, of course, and all the quarterbacks. Per metric, yeah, he was good. He was the third best, ranking-wise, grade-wise, he was the third best quarterback in the draft class of this year. Of course, Penix will be better than him. And of course, Caleb will turn into something better than him. But that's besides the point. We're going to move on. Packers, Eagles, I've been wanting to say this the whole entire... Gabe, block in for a second. I hate Jordan Love. I'm going to say that to y'all right here. Look straight to y'all. We're having a really good moment. I hate Jordan Love. Outside of Teodathon. Everything else,
yes.
Inside Teodathon, bring it home, baby. Bring it home. But, gosh, I hate Jordan Love. I hate everything about the Packers offense because they have no good wide receiver one, no true wide receiver one. They have a wide receiver by committee, and it pisses me off that they're winning.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
3 of them injured in this game, too.
Exactly. Of course, you're relying off Josh Jacobs, which is I think he's a really good running back. I like him.
Good.
I like him. But that's really about all you're going to get. Jordan Love, overpaid, washed. When he's not in Teodathon, he looks like a prime Mason Rudolph. I
kind of helped the Steelers last year.
I just kind of felt like saying a name.
Down the stretch.
I kind of didn't have a name off the top of my head.
He's a boring quarterback to watch.
He's definitely my point exactly. And of course, Jalen Hurts is not that good of a quarterback. I think he's a running back by terms. But CTE, concussions, I'll give him a bit of a doubt. But I will have to say, Eagles is the most complete team, or one of the most complete teams in the league. Probably beat out by the Chiefs. They might be a little more complete than the Lions just because the Lions have so much injury to them. And at one point in time, I would have said the Vikings, but also that went. But that's all I have to say for them. I think I watched the game.
Yeah.
I was doing stuff.
I watched most of this game, I would say. But yeah, the injuries they had, I can't remember. I think it may have been Watson that went down in the game. I think 2 of them didn't play. So that makes it tough. And then Jordan Love wasn't playing good. Elton Jenkins was also injured on the offensive line. They're still able to run the ball pretty well. Josh Jacobs had 121 yards. So that's good. They didn't have a pass game. Kind of like the Eagles. They don't really have a pass game.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many yards Jalen Hurts had. He's kind of just hand it off to Saquon, and you'll be fine. And then the defense also carried them in this game. They had 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery, and also 3 interceptions.
I mean,
yeah, Hurts was efficient, but it was really a run game.
Yeah, when your wide receiver one's reading a motivational book on the sideline, that's a problem. Small problem if you're a quarterback, of course. So the best game of the weekend, of course, Commander at Bucks. This is what you call cinema, absolute cinema. I'm going to pull up some stats here as I'm getting to it as I exit out the thing by accident. Jaden Daniels, this is his 5th game-winning drive this year, if I'm not mistaken. Now, do not get me wrong. The Bucs did not play bad. They played actually really good. Baker Mayfield played with his gunslinger mentality that we love and know. Just when it came down to it, Jaden Daniels nutted up, shut up, and he went to work. Plain and simple. I mean, that's what happened. De'Ami Brown, better than Amon-Ra St. Brown? Possibly not.
We're here.
But we're here
so
for
back.
it. We're here for it.
Fan club.
We're
De'Ami Brown
here
fan
for
club.
it.
No, you're not. You hate him.
No.
Don't switch now. You said this before the year when they traded Jahan Dotson. I'm in the fan. You are not. You do not have a membership card.
I'm outside knocking. I'm trying to get one. Brian Robinson Jr. So the big thing with Commanders, they need a running back one. Brian Robinson Jr. is not that good of a running back. Sadly, he did carry my fantasy team for a solid few weeks.
He had a good year.
When it came down to it, this dude has been awful the past few weeks.
Him and Eckler are kind of they do a duo. It's not really, they don't have one guy. I don't know if they need one guy in that offense.
That's true. But shout out Zane Gonzalez, hit the game winner field goal, that 37-yard field goal after being the most OCD dive I've ever seen. And I'm OCD myself. This dude was fixing his hair, freaking out. Looked like me for real when I try to talk to women. So, I mean, shout out him. Stadium Pulse was at all-time high. The picture of him, like, kicking the field goal and, like, the background of all Bucks fans. I don't know this as the picture, but that picture went absolutely hard. I'm gonna find it and put it somewhere around here just for y'all to see. And so, but shout out him. Shout out the game in general. The game did bring us a great game after seeing BTA on every other game. So, that's all I have to say for it. Oh, can I please have a De'Ami Brown membership card yet, or to wait? I applied for it.
You gotta wait on that.
Okay,
one.
I applied.
We'll see. It was kind of, the Commanders won and woohoo and everything, game-winning drive and all that. But really, they were unable to finish drives a lot of this game. They were only 2 of 5 in the red zone. They were 5th in the league in red zone percentage in this regular season. So they were 40% in the regular season. 2 of 5 is not 40%. So they were obviously not at their standard. They had 2 failed 4th down conversions in this game. They settled for 3 a lot. It wasn't what you normally saw out of the offense that they had this season, but they still were able to win the game. So, they didn't play their best and they still won the game. And Tampa Bay was very efficient in this game. They didn't have really, like, Baker only threw the ball 18 times. And they still ran an efficient offense. And that was the story of their season. He hit 18 attempts, and that was what he had in the regular season. That was his average. And they remained productive. The Commanders just clutched it up in the end, cooked in their defense. And Evans cooked Lattimore all game. And Bucky Irving was Bucky Irving.
We love Bucky Irving around here. We do. I can't say much about him.
He's so good.
Love him. All right. Next, last game here we have for the weekend. We have Rams versus Vikings.
I don't have any notes.
I have one note, just because I've been waiting to say this all week. shout out MMG for the tweet. Sam Fraudnold, the Minnesota Frauds. That's all I have to say. Of course, there's questions. What's the future of the Vikings? We covered that one before. And of course, the Rams is a sneaky elite team. But are they going to make it past next week? We're about to find out. We're probably not, but
not in snow. They're not.
I doubt it. What do you have to say about it?
No, I don't.
Sam Fraudnold. We're gonna stay there. So here we go. For predictions, pick'ems, our daily stuff, what we love to do. Hopefully there's a new graphic coming up with it, as we're trying to really revamp our style.
We said we were done with pick'ems.
Well, not really pick'ems, but like we're trying to have fun. We're gonna figure it out eventually.
Hold on. We got to do our final pick'em.
I didn't want to do this.
Scroll back up, buddy.
I did. Of course, Gabe did this. Reminded me. Gabe won, I guess. Gabe won by a lot, actually.
18 games.
It was we were gonna do the rest divisional to the Super Bowl, but I was getting BTA'd bad, so I gave it the white flag. Gabe was 188 and 83, which is 50%. It's better than most people. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. In the last week, I just kind of did random picks. Like, if you look at it, I just did like upsets and all kinds of junk. I lost like 8 games or something.
Facts. And then me, I was 170 and 101. Yeah, I got BTA'd all week, all year. I'm tired of this. I hate pick'ems.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad. All right, pick'em. Oh, sorry. Texans at Chiefs. I have Chiefs winning. By like 35-21 is my off the brain type thing. Texans still probably the worst team left in this whole entire divisional round. And so that's Chiefs as well for you. Yeah. Moving on. Now the game. The game I'm so excited for. The game I'm gonna be glued to my TV. Ravens at Bills. They played beginning of the year, week 4, where the Ravens won 35-10.
Derek Henry game.
Derek Henry legacy game, if you per se.
Could
be snowing, but Derek Henry, it plays good to snow. I mean, ish. Gabe would know that for sure.
I'm trying to think of. We didn't play a lot of snow games.
That's fair.
I can't remember.
But I think the Ravens go in if they want to, especially in the snow, they're going to keep it on the ground. And if I'm not mistaken, the Ravens have the best rushing attack in all the league. Granted, Bills have James Cook, who goes stupid in the snow. Absolutely stupid. Good. But I think I'm going to take the Ravens by 1 point. And it goes into overtime. I think it goes into overtime.
Yeah, I don't have a score prediction, but I'll say Ravens as well. Snow game, going to lean the run-heavy team, even though the Bills do have a pretty good run game, especially Cook's success from last week. I think that can carry over for sure. But I think it's going to be Lamar and Henry. I do think this is going to be I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, just because passing-wise, I'm not sure what's all going to happen here. But if you like running, the ball and some defense, that's probably what you're going to see in this game. And just a snow game's fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. So, this next game I'm actually really excited for. The Commanders at Lions. I wish I could take the Commanders in this. I really do. I don't think they can pull this one out. The Lions looked really, really good, even with how injury prone they have been. They've been hit with the injury bug, and Dan Gamble do not care. He's like me for real when it comes to gambling. Don't care. Let's do this. But I do want to. I'm really excited about these two head coach facing off with Dan Quinn and Dan Gamble, just because they're both play the exact same. We do not care who you are. We're gonna play you most physically and mentally, and they are gonna go for fourth down a lot. They rank 1 and 2 with fourth down conversions and most attempts, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be a very, very high scoring game, if I believe so.
I'm going to do it.
You're going
I'm
to do
going
it?
to take the Commanders. I'm going to do it.
I don't hate it.
I think their offense, Lions defense hasn't looked like, I don't think what you expected considering their injuries, but I think the down the field game is going to be key for the Commanders. And you saw that last week. Terry was getting open downfield. De'Ami Brown, we'll see. Hopefully he keeps it up this week. I think the Lions secondary isn't really, when you look at it, that much better than like the Bucs secondary. They got some elite safety play. Both teams do. Winfield and Kirby Joseph. I'd probably take the Lions secondary if you were going to force me to. I think they can't play like they did against the Bucs, which was kind of like settling. They weren't able to like capitalize on drives, failed fourth downs, all this stuff. Play calls in the red zone need to be on point in this game. And then also create more lanes for Jane in the option game. They weren't really able to do that against the Bucs. He didn't have a lot of rushing yards. It wasn't very efficient. And the Lions just leaned on the run game. Bucs were able to do that with Bucky Irving. I think they're going to have success doing that. And the only way, really, Commanders, it's keeping the Lions off the field, controlling the clock again, because we don't know how their defense is going to hold up against the Lions, really.
Yeah, I agree. Also, a little thing about the Commander-Bucks game. Marshall Lattimore got BTA'd by Mike Evans. It looked like two old people going at it. I forgot to say that earlier. But that felt good to watch after Lattimore said about Saints. So screw that guy. So for our last game here with Rams at Eagles, I'm going to do it. I spoke highly on the Eagles earlier, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go off the savvy veterans and the very hungry rookies, and I'm going to take the Rams. Going to Philadelphia, I think they can rattle Jalen Hurts and stop the run game enough, even though Saquon. Oh, that was bad.
He did something to
300
in the regular season.
And I'm not neglecting that. I'm not neglecting that at all. But if the Rams get the offense going like they did last week, and against a better defense, I think the Rams has a better defense than the Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna be in big trouble. But they do have that guy named Saquon. He's pretty darn good. If you heard about him, I don't know if you have or not. But he's
still better.
He's pretty good at his job. But I'm gonna take the Rams. Yeah.
I'm taking the Eagles.
The Eagles, that's fair.
Snow game, that does not favor the Rams at all. Love you, Kyron Williams.
That's fair. I don't hate that one. I don't hate it. But yeah, it's time for some fun segments. We're probably going to move this around every now and then. We were going to go over our past predictions, but as we are going a little over time, we're going to move that to next week. Sorry, Gabe. I didn't feel like
No, hold on. No. What we need to do is do our award predictions, like the ones we're doing now, move those to next week, and then let's do the past one's reaction.
Okay,
in this one.
That's fair. We
just
can
cut
do
out the other
We
one.
do that. We'll let Gabe do his Where's Stingley rate, because I actually am really ready to hear this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know who was doing this.
So I have, we have Stingley, and that's the person in question. I have 10 cornerbacks names here. I just kind of see where are we thinking? I mean, I don't know if it's not necessarily for you. It's kind of both of us. So
Like,
first name up.
Am I taking over Stingley? Or am I taking over Stingley? Is that how it is? Okay.
It's going to be comparing him to the guys that I give.
Okay.
And this is kind of be an open discussion, really. The first name up, Jalen Ramsey.
I'm taking Stingley. Yeah, I'm taking Stingley right now. Jalen Ramsey has not been that. He's been past his prime. I'm taking Stingley.
That was the lowest guy I had on here because of that factor.
Yeah.
Next, Jair Alexander.
Dude, you're making a tough decision here. I really like Jair. I do. I really like him. Stingley's the better zone player than Jair, but Jair's a better man player. So it's really hard to tell the two difference apart in my eyes.
I would take the opposite, actually.
Really? Okay, that's fair. I
think so.
I don't hate that.
They're well rounded, both of them.
Okay, so for the future, of course I'm gonna take Stingley for future odds. But right now, I think I may have to go Stingley by like barely taking Stingley.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Next guy, Isaiah McDuffie.
I am
Trent
taking
McDuffie.
I am taking Trent McDuffie
Yeah.
on this one.
Okay.
I
All right.
I didn't want to do it, but yes, dude, this year he's had it goes so unnoticed. It's oh my gosh, it's been fantastic.
I agree. He's probably top 2 to 3 corner for sure. We're gonna stay. We're gonna go to Seattle. We're gonna go to both of their guys, Tyreek Woolen and Witherspoon.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this one for quite some time. I'm gonna take Stingley over Woolen. I'm not gonna take over the Witherspoon. I don't think I can. Dude, Witherspoon is. I think it's just how I like my corners. He plays with so much physicality, and he does play really good coverage. So he's a mixture of both. Where he's gonna play more physicality than Stingley. He's the most physicality, or probably top 2. With I say Cooper DeJean as most physical cornerbacks in my eyes.
I mean, Sauce, but he's holding a lot.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Sauce in a little bit. I could tell, probably picture he's on the list. Later. But even though Witherspoon has lacking the coverage to Stingley, the physicality makes up so much for it that he's so versatile on the field. So I will take Witherspoon over Stingley by another slight edge. Like, very, very slight. But not Woolen. Woolen, I don't think is that great compared to Stingley.
I think, I would put Woolen. I would put Woolen underneath probably Jair.
Yeah, I agree with
as
that
well.
One.
Yeah, I think out of this group, and we'll kind of do it after, kind of rank them just to see where everybody falls. The next guy, and hey, this one might seem a little out there, but he had a great year. J.C. Horn.
I actually, as a Saints fan, even though he's on the Panthers, I really love J.C. Horn as a cornerback. Really great guy in general. I know my brother went to the Saints-Panthers game this past year and actually met JC. He said a great guy, fantastic guy even. But I think this is his first year of really fully healthy, and we saw what he can do, but he also had moments where he has been torched bad. And I'm going to give it to Stingley. I might put Horn a little above Woolen, but under Jair. In my eyes. Okay. It might be crazy to say, but...
Okay. Next guy. Got 4 more. Jalen Johnson.
Taking Jalen Johnson.
I'm gonna go Stingley here.
I'm a Jalen Johnson fan club. I can't
I think Jalen he's in the top 5. Because that's kind of where I think Stingley falls at this point.
I'm okay with that.
Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward's very injury prone. I'm not gonna.
He is.
But he's so good. He's so good when he's on the field. Okay, so I'm taking injuries out the factor. As I'm gonna take out the factor here. I'm gonna take Denzel. But with factor, I will entertain the idea of Stingley. But Denzel Ward is such a good corner, and it's actually kind of unfair. I'm not gonna lie.
He's physical as well.
Yeah,
he's kind of like Witherspoon. He's not. I think Witherspoon is a little more physical, but Ward's actually kind of underrated in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Stingley too. All right, last 2. These weren't in order. I just kind of put them down. The first guys came to mind. Sauce. Yeah.
No hesitation.
I think after this year,
I've been thinking about this all week. All right, give me number 1. We all know who it is.
Yeah, it's Surtain. He's still number 1.
Defense Player of the Year. There's no doubt about it.
Number 1.
That's my Defense Player of the Year. Yeah. That is my CB1. Give me Patrick Surtain without a doubt in my mind.
All right, so who are the guys that you took over Stingley then?
I took Surtain, Jalen Johnson. So I really think it's Surtain 1, Trent McDuffie 2, Jalen Johnson 3, Denzel Ward 4, Stingley 5.
Okay.
6. Oh, sorry. Hold up. Let me think here. Sorry. Witherspoon 5, Stingley 6, Sauce 7, 8 Woolen, 9 Jair, 10. Was there anybody else? Am I missing?
Yeah, J.C. Horn and Ramsey, I think.
Yeah, Ramsey to J.C.
Ramsey over J.C. Wow.
No, sorry, switch that. I switched that.
Yes.
I don't know. Switch that. J.C. then. J.C. then.
Yeah. All right. That's not a bad. It was 11 total, so that's not a bad list.
that definitely
That might be a graphic.
made my
I don't know.
brain hurt real quick.
That might be a calm graphic right there.
Let me pull. Oh gosh, Lord. So it's time to revisit some preseason picks, dude. Graphics gonna be pulled up with the old. Oh my gosh, how bad the old graphic was. It's gonna be pulled up right here.
Solid metal
dude,
silver.
This was
What
bad.
is that?
This was awful. We're gonna do the picks first. Dude, this is embarrassing.
Ugh.
MVP. We both had Mahomes. Okay, we kind of.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I would have guessed that's who I picked.
Yeah. But it's time to explain some picks now. Dark horse. Gabe had Matthew Stafford. Let him just sit in this fair. And I'm just gonna pull one of the three. I can't remember which one I actually said.
You said that was the order you said them.
Oh gosh, why? Why did I do this? Why? Do I have to say all three?
Yes. Yes.
All right. My dark horse MVPs: Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers. I can't, guys. I cannot explain that. I don't know myself.
Well, CMC. We didn't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah. But Dak Dak. I'm gonna push to a side. It was there for like a solid week, and that's it. That's all it was. I'm gonna push it to the side. Aaron Rodgers. I am so sorry. That man is old. He's a bum. He's bad.
He's
washed. Yeah, we're gonna move on. Offense player of the year. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. This is bad. So it's most likely probably gonna go to Saquon. He's the betting favorite. Gabe had Christian McCaffrey. Not crazy to say, not crazy to do. And I had with a staggering, he had maybe 1,000 yards this season, maybe. CeeDee Lamb, bang.
He was good. Yeah, but he lost his quarterback.
Bang! He was on pace for it, so I'm not going to hate on it too much. But dark horse, Gabe had Amon-Ra St. Brown. Honestly not crazy to say. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I had Amon-Ra, of course, and then I had Orr just because you said Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I said something else. Bijan Robinson. Bang! Ooh, what a shot that Valentine!
What a shot.
It was not the shot the most.
He had a good year, though.
He did.
Eagle. That's crazy.
God. You can't. You had two better running backs than him. Defense player of the year. We both had TJ Watt. And the last 193 snaps, he recorded 0 stats. Dark horse. Gabe. Chris Jones. Bang! Alright, this is where I cooked.
After the year he had, I thought he was going to do great.
This is where I cooked. Jacob. Patrick Surtain. Boom! 5 big booms on that one.
That was like the only one pick we got right, I think.
I had a slash year. I had Aiden Hutchinson. He was technically on pace for a lot of sacks.
He would have.
So,
yeah, he would have.
I'm okay with that being like that. Now, it's time for the power rankings. Of course, they're going to be pulled up in front of you, just so you can be in agony with us. I'm going to look at Gabe real quick. Number 2, he had the 49ers.
Hey, you had him 3. Come on, man.
I will go back to it. Give me a sec. At 5, he had the Houston Texans.
You had him at 6, man.
I will come back to it. I promise. At 10, he had the Cleveland Browns. At 11.
Man, you had the Cowboys at 7. Shut up.
Jets at 13.
You also had them at 13.
Frick. Who?
You had the Dolphins at 10.
Oh, I did have Dolphins at 10. To be fair, the power rankings are at 7, so I don't want to hear it. He had Colts. He hit spot on at 18. They hit around there.
We both had that. Yeah.
This is fun. Titans at 21.
Shut up. Hey, you had him at 25, and that's bad. That's how bad they were.
I also had Saints at 24. You hit spot on. Oh, Washington Commanders 27 for both of us.
We didn't know.
Yeah,
the rest of their team didn't look this good.
Also, if you can't pull it up, like if it's not on here, you can go to our Instagram. It's the very first post we done.
You had the Broncos 31st, man.
I did. You have it 29. We both had Panthers at 32. Shout out us.
Ugh.
We are the true I have Chargers at 26 as well. Yeah, 23. Look, guys.
Vikings 24.
We are the true analysts around here. Listen to nobody else but us. Because trust, we know what we're talking about. Like these power rankings, they're beautiful.
Jags at 17. Ooh. You had them at 15.
I hate this.
Oh.
I hate this. I hate my life. I hate looking at this. I'm taking
no.
it away now.
It's not even the rankings, it's the graphic. It's so ugly.
Dude, the graphic is bad. I don't know
what you were doing.
Look, this is why I gave the graphics over to you. And I did the editing.
This is kind of true.
But, so we're going to do one more just debate thing for a little fun segment.
Because of Twitter.
Just for Twitter, just for the craps and giggles. We have like a random, like, I'm going to say a debate for Twitter, debate for y'all, debate for anybody in this sense. It's just some random debate. Is Sweet Tea overrated?
Now, you have a strong opinion.
I do.
You have a stronger opinion than I, so I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, so Sweet Tea is overrated just because I can't take in that much sugar or I will get sick. Hence why I do drink a lot of zero sugar drinks over really anything. But in a tasting as a whole, there's only few sweet teas I like. There's Gold Peak, Milo, and my grandma's sweet tea, which is Lipton with like somehow good tasting stuff. I think sweet tea is overrated. It's not my first. It's never a first option. Never first, second. It's on my bench if you're talking about drinks wise. If I go to a restaurant or something, it's not really refreshing during the summer. Like I much rather lemonade over sweet tea during the summer, and like during the fall, like it's kind of getting that cold moment, so you can't drink cold sweet tea like in the fall or the winter. But like if it's a seasonal drink in my eyes.
I think it's a fall. It's not a winter necessarily. I'll have it year round.
That's fair.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But I will take other things over it in the winter. Yeah. I think it's a fall drink.
And then we're not gonna say grandma's sweet tea because that's obviously the best sweet tea there is. It's made with love and happiness. But there's two sweet teas I only like. It's Gold Peak and it's Milo's. And I actually really hate Milo's sweet tea. I do. Even though I like it,
you just said you liked it.
It makes me sick. It makes me very sick. Gold Peak is the best name brand tea there is. I will dabble in a little Lipton every now and then, but the sweet tea is really
Pure Leaf.
Not that good.
Are you a Pure Leaf guy?
Nah, no, just Gold Peak, just Gold Peak.
Arizona.
Not really. I don't mind it.
Yeah, they're overrated.
I don't mind it, but
they have a good variety if you like different kinds.
They're cheap. I mean,
this is true.
I'll give them that. They're cheap. But it's like Costco hot dogs. What? Now, what's the inside Costco hot dogs? We don't know. That's a different day type thing.
That's next episode.
But Gabe, what's your thoughts? Of course, you know my opinion. It's overrated in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna tweet that right now while I'm thinking about it.
This was a Twitter post that I saw. This is kind of where this is coming from.
Go ahead and see that.
And I just had a picture of Milo's, and it said Milo's is the best sweet tea. And I just, Twitter comments. It's a place to be. There's things to see there. Most of the time, it's explicit material that has nothing related to the post it's commenting on. But that's just Twitter, if we're being honest. The comments, a lot of them were saying sweet tea was overrated. So, I texted Jacob about it.
That's what I'm saying.
And turns out he felt the same way. I don't think you like it, right? At times.
I can have a glass, and I may be okay. Anything after that, I feel like I am ready to hurl. Like cane sweet tea, I got at like 2 a.m. one night because all the rest of the soda machine was down for some reason. So I got sweet tea, and they were just about to close. So I was just trying to get in and out there, and I tasted it, and I was ready to hurl. It was bad. I got back to my room. I was sober. I was sober at 2 a.m. I had nothing else to do. I was just like, you know what? Let's get some canes. It's open at 2:30. We might as well. Got back to my room. My bathroom felt the wrath of my throw up of sweet tea pretty much all over the place. I have strong opinions on sweet tea. Cane sweet tea in general. I think they make theirs too sweet with a lot of sugar.
I don't like canes, no.
And that's just my opinion, of course.
Chick-fil-A tea is pretty good, I think. I always get lemonade though, so.
Diet lemonade is where it's at. Diet
Oh,
Lemonade is where it's
no.
at. Okay, that's a different topic. Dude, lemonade's so good. I love lemonade. I might have lemonade after this now.
Lemonade is, yeah.
But yeah.
Lemonade is pretty good.
But yeah, that's our podcast. If you're new here, considering just sticking around, have a lot more fun with us as we go through this semester. Any thoughts you want to hit with us, Gabe?
Hopefully, we're going to keep a somewhat strict release schedule at least.
Yeah.
Maybe we're trying to do 2 episodes a week. Kind of split them up by sport, I guess, until NFL and college football are done. Then we don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure it out.
We might expand our game a little bit. MLB will be coming soon.
He can do baseball
because
I'm out.
Yeah, Gabe is kind of cooked into that, but I will gladly do it. We're gonna invite some people onto the podcast as well. We've been talking about it. Probably some soccer, some baseball, just get some extra added like interaction with y'all in this. But we really do enjoy y'all. Thank y'all for watching this. As we're gonna do our best to go on. I think it's Tuesdays and Fridays gonna be our release schedule from now on. Shout out Hayden McDowell, shout out Ian Richard for helping me with my script a little bit, as I did not know what I was doing for a little bit of this, but they've helped me throughout the semester. Hopefully, good editing's happening, and tomorrow, this is technically going to be on Friday for y'all, so hopefully we get this being good. Also, quick update, OKC's beating Cleveland 121-89. BTA.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
And next episode, of course.
Next episode.
Shout out New Net Setup. Shout out Quando Dingle. Shout out Commanders and Bucks. And I hope y'all have a great day. Please like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Thank y'all.